y'all, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Taya and this is Taya's Turning Pages. By the title of today's video, you can tell that this is going to be a book shopping vlog, and I'm actually sitting in the car right now. As you can see, I just got to Target and it was a hellish journey to get here, to be honest. It's a Friday, I'm off today, so I just decided to go to Target, look around their book section, and I also found this cute little bookstore that actually just opened up in my old apartment complex's neighborhood. When I tell y'all, it is one of the most cutest bookstores I've ever seen. I have been thinking about it since yesterday, but I didn't have my camera on me, and I wasn't really in the mood to film, so I decided to wait until today to go back so that way I can hopefully show you guys around and just pick up some books, because whenever I can support a local bookstore, I tend to do that. Now you guys have probably seen in my other vlogs, I usually go to Target or Barnes & Noble, and that's just because where I live, there's really not that many independent bookstores, which is unfortunate. I have to go all the way downtown, and I'm just not equipped to go downtown all of the time or regularly to go to these bookstores. So I'm really happy that this one that I'm talking about was just built, because I'm probably going to be there all of the time. That's going to come later in the vlog. Like I mentioned, I'm already at Target right now. I just wanted to film this intro. I'm going to try my hardest to use my actual camera to film in there, but y'all know how Target gets, especially when it gets close to the weekend. It's just 20 million people in these stores, so I don't know how this is going to go, but if I can't use my camera, then of course I will be using my phone, so just bear with me. I'm still one of those embarrassed vloggers. I don't know when I'll ever grow out of it and be able to just whip out my camera with no care in the world, but I'm not there yet. As a person, as a human being, I'm not there yet. Hopefully one day. So yeah, I'm about to head in here and I will definitely show you guys around as much as I can, and of course I will do a haul at the end of the video so you guys can see what books I picked up. Hey y'all, as you can see, I'm now back in the car. I apologize if my makeup is looking a little bit janky now. I had to put on my mask, so of course it got messed up. And I also had to turn the air on because it is so fucking hot out here, so I apologize. I will try to speak as loudly as I can so that way you guys can hear me. But yeah, I did not spend a lot of time in Target, which I really wanted to, because I was trying to treat this as a self-care day, but it just flopped. It really flopped, and I should have known it was gonna flop because it's a Friday, it's summer, everybody and their mom is out on the road, and it's just a lot going on. There was way too many people in there and people in the way, and it was just getting on my nerves, and it was making my self-care day become more of a stress day. So I just decided to get the stuff that I need to get, go to the book section, get a few clips, get the books that I needed, and get the hell out of there. And that's exactly what I did. So as you guys can tell by the little montage before this one, I didn't get that many clips when I was in Target, just because again, it was way too many people in there and there was a lot going on. So I don't know, hopefully I'll be able to get more content when I go to the next bookstore, but we'll get into that when I actually get there, so I don't know. But anyways, I'm about to go get some food now and try to decompress, but I will check back in with you guys when I actually make it to the other bookstore. Good morning. So it is actually Saturday, July 16th at 11:35 in the morning, and I just finished my makeup because I'm about to head to the bookstore that I was talking to you guys about in the other clips from yesterday, and I should have just said the name of the bookstore. It's called Booked with a lowercase b, and like I mentioned, it's new. It only has 2 reviews on Google so far. So yeah, I'm really excited to go there today and to finally pick up the books that I wasn't able to get at Target, and also of course just to support a local independent bookstore. I also wanted to quickly come on here and say that this vlog might be all over the place, just because if you look at the clips from yesterday, then you can tell that I was supposed to go to this bookstore today, but it just didn't happen. So I'm gonna try to make this vlog as cohesive and concise as possible, and hopefully make it as less confusing as possible, but we will see how all of this goes when I go back to edit. And I also just wanted to say that I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to use my actual camera to film in there, or if I'm going to have to use my phone, just because the bookstore is really small and intimate, so I don't really want to like disturb anybody, and I don't want to draw weird unnecessary attention to myself. So we will see how all of this goes, but I just wanted to come on here and say that. But I will check in with you guys when I'm actually at the bookstore. Hey y'all, so I'm actually back from the bookstore now, and I just wanted to show you all of the books that I have accumulated over the past 2 days. I actually did film a Target book haul yesterday, but I decided to just scrap those and just show all of the books that I got from Target as well as Book today, since I have all of the books now. So before we get started with the haul, I just wanted to quickly comment on my experience at Booked, and I just wanted to say that I loved it in there. It was so like cute and quaint and cozy, and also just very quiet and like intimate, like I described earlier. I just really like the fact that like more and more independent bookstores are being built, especially like in my area, because that's just not something that we normally have over here. We usually have the big chain bookstores like Barnes and Noble, or you know, Target with their book section. We're starting to see more and more independent local bookstores popping up throughout the city. That like makes my heart so happy, especially because readership is increasing, and it's a good time. It's a good time to be a bookworm. It's a good time to be in the bookstores, and I just love that for all of us. But yeah, I had a really great experience in there. Everybody was really nice. Nobody said anything to me when I was trying to film, and of course, as you guys can see throughout the clips, I wasn't trying to get people in my shot, but yeah, everybody was really focused on getting the books that they wanted and just like looking around the store in general. So it was a great time, and I definitely will return and go back there when I'm looking for more books. They also have merch, and I was going to pick up a shirt, but I just got distracted and it didn't happen. But the next time I go there, I'm definitely going to pick up a shirt, because it's such a cute store, and I need to support, I need to represent, so that way more people can go in there and like keep it afloat, because it deserves. So we're actually going to start with the books that I got from Target, and the first book that I have here is a thriller, and it is The Night She Disappeared by Lisa Jewell. I mentioned in my April wrap-up that I have been a big fan of Lisa Jewell ever since I read Then She Was Gone. That was the first book that got me into thrillers, and that really sparked my love for the genre. I haven't really picked up a book by her since then, then until I read Watching You in April, and I actually enjoyed that book. I did give it a 3 or a 3.5 out of 5 stars, and that's simply because I read so many thrillers back to back to back usually, and because of that I'm able to guess the killer reveal pretty early on. So I felt like the book was a little bit predictable, but I still enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun, twisty thriller, and I still recommend Lisa Jewell for beginner thriller readers because her books are just really easy to follow along to. I feel like she has a good way of lending an ominous feel to her writing. So for all of that, I definitely recommend, but I still like picking up her books because I have a loyalty to her. Since Then She Was Gone got me into thrillers, so I saw this one at Target. It was the last copy and I decided to pick it up, and I'm really happy that I did because I just feel like this one is going to be another great Lisa Jewell novel. So I don't really know too much about this one. I think it does follow a young woman who is a single mom, and I think she ends up going missing, and so her mother, who is of course like heartbroken and distraught over the disappearance, decides to take the investigation into her own hands and tries to figure out what really happened to her daughter the night she disappeared, of course, and the story takes off from there. I'm really excited to read this one. I'm not sure when I'm going to get to it, but I'm hoping soon because I really would like to read more of Lisa Jewell's novels consistently, and I would like to go through her catalog because like I said, I really do enjoy her stories, and I just feel like she's one of those authors for me that I just need to read everything that she's ever written. So I'm really happy that I have this one now. And the next book that I have in this haul here is another thriller, and it is We Were Never Here by Andrea Bartz. I have been wanting this book for so long, but every single time I would go to Barnes & Noble or Target, I would just never pull the trigger and buy it. But I decided randomly out of the blue one day that if I came across it again in the store, I was going to pick it up, and I found it in Target, and I was really happy about that. So on the back here it says, your best friend killed a man. Now she needs your help again. This just sounds like it's going to be really interesting and really chaotic and unhinged, and I'm here for it. But on the back here it says, Emily is having the time of her life with her friend Kristen in the stunning mountains of Chile until she enters their hotel suite to find it covered in blood. Kristen claims that the cute backpacker she brought to the room attacked her, and she had no choice but to kill him in self-defense. Panicked, Emily helps her hide the body, but as the walls close in on their cover-up, she wonders if they can truly outrun their dark secrets, and if she can really trust her closest friend. After all, this isn't the first time one of their trips has ended in bloodshed. Like I said, sounds really interesting. Sounds like it's right in my alley. I also love the cover of this book. The ombre effect is giving. But yeah, can't wait to dive into this one at some point. And I have seen mixed reviews on this book, particularly on Bookstagram. I feel like most people either really enjoyed it or they didn't really like it. So I'm curious to see which category I fall into. But I'm really hoping that I like this one. It does seem like it's going to follow like a lot of the tropes that I typically like in my thriller books. So we will see. The second to last book that I have here is Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. So y'all, I finally got a new copy of Malibu Rising, and we love that for me because if you guys have watched one of my older videos, I don't remember which one. I think it was 22 books I want to read in 2022. I'm not really sure, but I actually do have a copy of this book already. I have the Book of the Month edition, but I got it from Thrift Books, and when I ordered it from there, they did not disclose that they were not going to send the dust jacket along with it. So it's just a blank book. Though I shouldn't care that it didn't come with a dust jacket because at the end of the day, it's the book that matters, and it's in pretty good condition. But I'm sorry, I love the cover to Malibu Rising. Like, it's so beautiful and I just love it. So I knew I needed to pick up a new copy because I just love the cover. I'm sorry, like that's just how I am when it comes to certain books, and I just love this cover. So I saw that Target had this one, and this was also the last copy. And the only thing that I know about this is that this follows a character in Taylor Jenkins Reid like multiverse of madness. This character that this story focuses on, I think he appears in Seven Husbands as well as Daisy Jones and the Six. I have not read either of those books, and I probably will only read Seven Husbands. I'm not really interested in Daisy Jones and the Six. I know, but it just doesn't really interest me the way that Seven Husbands does. But I think I'm gonna start with this one because this one of course has that like generational family saga and dynamic that I love and I look for in books. So this one really piqued my interest, and I think there's also like a mystery and a thrilling aspect that happens within this story. So for that alone, I'm here for it, and I definitely think I'm going to start with this one. But yeah, I love family dynamics in my books. You guys already know that, so I can't wait to dive into this one at some point. And the last book that I got from Target is one that I'm really excited about. I think I'm the most excited about this one out of all of the books that I picked up recently, and it is Memphis by Tara M. Stringfellow. So this one has been circulating on Bookstagram quite a bit, and every single time I see the cover, I just fall in love because it is absolutely beautiful. I love the blue, and I just love the traditional black art that is on the front. I knew when I seen this book making its rounds on Bookstagram, I knew I was going to have to pick it up, and I'm so happy that my Target had this in stock. I'm actually going to read the synopsis for this book because there's a lot going on within the actual synopsis, and I don't want to, you know, get it wrong. So in the flap here it says, the things women do for the sake of their daughters. Summer 1995. 10-year-old Joan, her mother, and her younger sister flee her father's explosive temper and seek refuge at her mother's ancestral home in Memphis. This is not the first time violence has altered the course of the family's trajectory. Half a century earlier, Joan's grandfather built this majestic house in the historic Black neighborhood of Douglas, only to be lynched days after becoming the first Black homicide detective in the city. Joan tries to settle into her new life, but family secrets cast a longer shadow than any of them expected. As she grows up, Joan finds relief in her artwork, painting portraits of the community in Memphis. One of her subjects is their enigmatic neighbor, Miss Dawn, who claims to know something about curses and whose stories about the past help Joan see how her passion, imagination, and relentless hope are, in fact, the continuation of a long, matrilineal tradition. Joan begins to understand that her mother, her mother's mother, and the mothers before them persevered, made impossible choices, and put their dreams on hold so that her life would not have to be defined by loss and anger. That the sole instrument she needs for healing is her paintbrush. Unfolding over 70 years through a chorus of unforgettable voices that move back and forth in time, Memphis is an indelible portrait of inheritance, celebrating the full complexity of what we pass down in a family and as a country. Brutality and justice, faith and forgiveness, sacrifice and love. Honestly, that synopsis was just so like poignant, and I just loved how it was worded, the prose, everything about it was beautiful, just like this cover. I definitely think I'm going to prioritize this one at some point because it just sounds like it's right up my alley. Again, it follows that same family saga trope, and I definitely think it falls into that literary fiction or women's literary fiction genre, which I love, and I really do like to pick up books from that genre and read them from time to time, and I just feel like I'm really going to enjoy this book. Okay, so those were all of the books that I picked up from Target yesterday, and like I mentioned earlier in the vlog, and as you guys have seen, I went to Book today, and I actually have all of the books that I picked up here in my Book of the Month tote. Guys, I finally became a Book of the Month BFF, and I'm so excited because I finally got the tote. I got the book pocket right here, and it's just a really nice tote, so I'm definitely going to take this with me whenever I go book shopping from now on, and I really love that for me. So I'm just going to pick them out one by one, and here I only got 3 books just because a lot of the books that I originally saw in Booked I already picked up at Target, so I only got 3, but I'm really happy with all 3 of these books. The first book that I have here is Book Lovers by Emily Henry. So I did mention in I think my March or April TBR video that this book was actually my book club pick, and I actually never got around to reading it, guys. I never got around to reading it. I have been going through a weird relationship with reading. I'm still reading books, as you guys can tell, but like it's not at the same caliber that it was when I first started my channel and my Bookstagram account, etc, etc. So I'm not really sure when I'll be able to get back on track. I really don't know, but I never read this book when I was supposed to, but I found it in Booked, and I'm really happy about it because this is sold out at Target, at least my local Target, and I just didn't want to buy it online. I really just wanted to go in store and get it so that way I could like start it whenever I really wanted to, and I'm not really sure when I'm gonna get to this, like I have said with most of these books, but I'm happy that I have it in my possession now. The only things that I know about this is that it says right here, one summer, 2 rivals, a plot twist they didn't see coming. So I think that this follows a literary agent and an editor, and I think the literary agent, her name is Nora, I think she is like the quintessential like hardworking, all about her career type of woman, and she doesn't really have time for relationships until I think she goes to this like convention or this work event until she runs into the editor, who is also her love interest, and I think his name is Charlie, and I think her and Charlie, you know, start to get to know each other, and then sparks start to fly and the story takes off from there. So like most people, I am a fan of Emily Henry and her writing style. I love beach read. I did not like People We Meet on Vacation, so I am hoping that this book will be another banger for me. I hope that I can put this up in the category with beach read. I'm not sure. I have seen mixed reviews on this book. I feel like a lot of people of course really loved it, or they didn't really care for it, or it just didn't live up to the hype as some of the other books. So I really want another Emily Henry book that I enjoyed and loved under my belt, to be honest. Like I love beach read, but I don't think that I will reread that, or at least reread it at some point. I really hope that this can be another novel by Emily Henry that I love and cherish the way that I do beach read. Okay, so the next book that I have here, I feel like it might be a surprise, but it might not be because I have hauled one of her books on my channel before. I just haven't read it yet, but it is Verity by Colleen Hoover. So I know Colleen Hoover has a lot of discourse around her. I know a lot of people really love her books and a lot of people just don't see it for her. I don't know how I feel about her because I was supposed to read Ugly Love and Reminders of Him, and I just flopped. I never read them, and I think that's just because of how hyped she is. Y'all know how it gets. I just don't want to be disappointed, you know, especially because I got 3 of her books now, and if I don't like any of them, then I really wasted money on 3 different books. That is a big L for me. But I think I might start with this one. I feel like I should start with her romance books. This one is really calling me, and I'm on a thriller kick more than I usually am, so I feel like I am going to try to prioritize this one. And I also want to know what everybody's talking about when they say teen manuscript or teen whatever else the other team is. I don't know what people be saying when they talk about that, but I want to know. But I don't know anything about this book except for the fact that it's like about, I guess, like publishing and writers and things like that. I'm not going to go into the synopsis because I feel like most people already know what this book is about, but if you don't, I definitely recommend going on Goodreads and just looking up the synopsis. But yeah, I am going to try to prioritize this one and see what this book is giving and see if Colleen Hoover is an author for me. I don't know, but we will see. And the last book that I have here is actually an autobiography, and it is Angela Davis. And I am really hyped that I have this book, you guys. I love this cover, first of all. Like, it's just so sleek, and Angela looks great on it. But I saw this in Booked, and Marcus actually got all of my books for me, so I appreciate him and love him for that. But I saw this one, and I just really wanted to throw this one into my cart because I really want to read more by and about Angela Davis, because of course she is truly a revolutionary figure when it comes to Black feminism, liberation, etc., etc. And I just want to learn more about her and more about how she came to be the woman that we know her as today, of course, but also just really getting to know how her mind works. I just really wanted to have this in my collection, especially because she's just such an important figure. I'm really trying to read more feminism, especially Black feminist works, because of course intersectionality is something that I really care about, and that is important to me as a Black woman. Why not read the autobiography from one of the GOATs when it comes to Black feminism? So yeah, I was really excited and also a little surprised that Booked had this. All right, y'all, and those are all of the books that I recently picked up for my birthday, and I'm just over the moon that I have all of these books in my collection now. Again, not sure when I'm going to get to them, but at least I have them in my collection in my library now, and I can just pick them up whenever I want to and go from there. So yeah. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me and my channel out. And lastly, please make sure you follow me on Bookstagram as well as Storygraph. I will leave all of that information linked down below, as well as at the end of the video like I always do. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!